Yes, good afternoon, participants. This is group 3. We are a group of 4. We have Sam, Enoch, Lavender, and Oliver. We are discussing a question on procurement. As already seen, the question reads, for an organization you are familiar with, list the objectives and goals of any departmental program, identify the activities to achieve the above goals, list the inputs or resources required, develop a departmental procurement plan, clear indicating the goods, works, and the services within the budget. Our organization is Save the Children Uganda, and we are going to give you a brief profile. Of course, our presentation is going to be participatory. After I have done my part successfully, most of our participants will be carrying on as we plan. Save the Children in Uganda is a non-profit organization that has been active in Uganda since 1959. Of course, it works in partnership with the communities, the government, and civil society organizations, including the private sector. For the purpose of this study, we focus on the Department of Child Protection, among other departments within the organization. The Child Protection Department generally takes the leads in supporting trainings for stakeholders, building classroom block to promote children education, and promote and support case management in the areas of sexual gender-based violence. The project will be implemented in the financial year 2022-2023.
Sam, do you want to?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Olive. I'm presenting on the goal and objectives of the identified organization, which is Save the Children Uganda. So Save the Children Uganda is having the goal and then the objectives. The objectives are 4, and it has a goal of strengthening of children protection system and community resilience for the protection of children and adolescents of refugees and host communities in Kiriandongo by 2022. It has the following objectives. Objective number 1 is to ensure that the families, children, and communities have capacity to respond and prevent violence against children, including exploitation, abuse, and neglect. Objective number 2 will be to ensure that children and families have access to multisectoral case management support. Objective number 3 is to build capacity of duty bearers like police, social workers, and medical workers, and GBV prevention and mitigation. And lastly, it will improve access to education in the community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. My name is Namialo Lavender. I'm going to highlight the activities. For all intents and purposes, reference will be made to the procurement department budget at the end of this presentation, where you'll see that the different activities have been costed and the correct resources allocated. Under objective 1, we intend to conduct quarterly community sensitizations, monthly community awareness raising sessions to produce and procure IEC material to train children in GBV risk mitigation, including the reporting pathway. For objective number 2, we intend to hold a 3-day training for foster parents, a 4-day training for child protection case workers to provide life skills and psychosocial support services to children and their families. And objective 3, we intend to train healthcare workers, the police staff in GBV, SGBV risk management and prevention to procure dignity kits for survivors of SGBV and to support duty bearers with working tools such as stationery, gumboots, dignity kits in remand homes. For objective 4, we intend to build a classroom block in Kiriandogo and build a 10-stance pit latrine. Thank you.
Thank you, Lavender. My name is Enoch Kupon. I'll be presenting on procurement planning. Our procurement management plan is one which describes how the procurement processes will be managed from developing the procurement documentation to contract preparation.
Now, if you could be a bit louder.
Procurement management plan is one which describes how the procurement processes will be managed from developing a procurement documentation to contract closure. The procurement management plan contains the activities to be undertaken during the procurement process. On the following slide, we are going to look through understanding the thresholds. The choice of the procurement method is mainly determined by the estimated value of the requirements. Secondly, by the circumstances pertaining to the requirement. For example, emergencies. On this slide, we are showing you the thresholds covered under procurement for supplies and non-consultancy services. Micro procurement is less than 5 million. For quotations, it's between 5 million to 100 million. Restricted bidding, 100 to 200 million. Open bidding, above 200 million. For consultancy services, single also consultant, no threshold. Individual consultant, less than 50 million. Request for proposal without expression of interest, 50 to 200 million. Request for proposals with expression of interest above 200 million. For works, micro procurements are less than 5 million. Quotation 10 to 200 million. Restricted bidding 200 million to 500 million, and open bidding above 500 million threshold. On this slide, we have indicated the periods that are allowable for bid submission. For micro procurements, this is not applicable. For direct procurements, also it's not applicable. For quotations, 5 working days are allowed. For restricted bidding, we have 12 working days allowed. For open domestic bidding, runs for 20 days. Restricted international bidding also runs for 20 days. And for open international bidding is 30 working days. And on our slide, we have indicated the the procurement plan components, which cover items, item description, category, user department code, quantities required and the time frames, total budgets, documentation from the user department, and then the persons who are responsible. Thank you.
Yes, as we continue this presentation, as we earlier noted, we intended to at least show our child protection budget. As you can see, based on the presentation, we have broken down the goal, the objective, the activity, the item, the description, the unit cost, the quantities attached, and the total to develop a functional budget. Alongside it are remarks that can guide the procurement team, and this will be an attaching document to the procurement plan. Here we are looking at the Child Protection Department Procurement Plan 2022-2023, where we have broken down our items once again between quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just as Enoch was saying, you can see the different components of the procurement plan: the item, the description, the department code, the category, whether they fall under supplies, consultancies, or works, and then the quantities required as well as the time frames attached to those quantities, totaling up to a grand total, which is in line with the child protection budget. That said, that is a presentation from Group 3. Thank you so much.